Excellent. So I am here with Keith, who is the property manager here at Keller Williams. And I would like for you to share, they were actually doing this video for pre-licensees, and part of studying for the real estate exam, they have to learn about property
Correct.
management and about different types of leases. I'd love for you to share just a little bit about the industry and the field.
Property management is a great field to get into. It's very exciting, it's very interesting, but it is for somebody who has a lot of patience, can have good systems in place, and is very dedicated to taking care of both owners and tenants. Tenants want everything perfect, and owners don't want to pay for any repairs.
So it's a little tricky.
It's a little tricky, so there's a fine line you have to walk down, keeping in mind that you do have to make sure that the tenants are protected by certain rights of the law. Property management is not for people who are trying to do only sales and want to do property management on the side. Property management is an area that you have to be dedicated to and spend a lot of time on.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we do discuss in the pre-licensing is how many violations there are in property management. It's really like a lot of liability and everything. So if you could speak to, the importance of, and you almost touched on it there, where if somebody's going to do sales, they probably shouldn't just dabble in property management. They should be in it full time. If you could speak to the liability side of property management.
A lot of agents do property management, quote unquote, and don't even know they're doing it. So they go and they are helpful to their owner. They do things that cross the line, and then they lose their license.
Right.
You have to be very careful. Property management is the most fined part of real estate. It is the place that most complaints to division and to GLVAR go. And it's not some place that you want to get into unless you have a license, and you don't want to really get a license unless you're really going to get into property management. Liability is very high.
Yes, absolutely. So you have to be detail oriented.
Yes.
And have
you have to keep your desk neat and clean.
Yes, I see that. And so how many properties are you managing right now for?
Right now we have 60, and we're growing every day. We're always trying to add more, obviously. And, as we grow more, we have a part-time person for bookkeeping.
Excellent.
And as we grow more, we get to 100 properties, we'll add another agent on, and as we grow even more, we'll add more on.
Excellent. Yeah, this is a new division for Keller
Yes.
Williams, because like most brokerages, they don't want to venture into the property management world because of the liability, but there's so much money to be made if you do have the systems in place.
If you have the systems in place, and as long as you have the checks and balances to make sure that the money stays where it's supposed to be.
Right.
The number one problem in property management right now in the past year is too many agents are taking the money that does not belong to them.
Yes.
And disappearing.
Right.
And as one of the instructors at a class yesterday was talking about was, he went on vacation, and the person that had been there for 2 years made off with over $11,000
Oh my.
just in that 1 week that he was gone. So the liability is very huge, and of course, he had to put that back out of his pocket.
Right.
Because if not, division, he's the one who's responsible for it,
Right.
and now he's after the person. But yeah, the liability is tremendous.
Now with the accounting, how often do you do your accounting here? I know for the division you have to do an audit once a year with them.
Right, but we balance the books once a month.
Once a month here.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then you have trust accounts for?
So security deposits and the maintenance accounts, the money that belongs to the owner or belongs to the tenant,
Okay.
are kept in trust accounts, and those we balance every month. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Wonderful.
And we're working on keeping them that way. That's why we're training somebody right from the beginning how to do it the correct way, so that we don't have any problems going forward.
Right, absolutely, because there's so many details.
There's so many details, and if
track.
you're not doing it all the time, and, you know, like myself, I get interrupted every 5 minutes. Today's been one of those days, and if I was trying to do just accounting today, nothing would be done or mistakes happen, and that's where we need to eliminate problems.
Absolutely. Could you speak a little bit to your application process? So when somebody's a tenant, a prospective tenant's applying for a property, what is your process that you go through as far as accepting the application and processing it?
Well, once they apply online, we send out a verification that acknowledges that we've received their application. Our applications are done online, and then they have to approve us to pull their credit and background check. So we pull the credit and a background check, criminal, etc. Then we get verification of employment, verification of income, verification from their previous landlord or current landlord. We also look at how long they've been on their job, et cetera, or if they've bounced around from job to job, so that we have as much information as possible. We're very fortunate over the past, 10, 11 years, I've had very few evictions.
Excellent.
And if you take out the years 2008, 9, and 10,
Right?
I really haven't had any evictions. Those unfortunately were very bad years. But, you know, as long as, again, it goes back to due diligence. And again, most people who get into property management don't do it the correct way, end up putting people in place because, oh, well, they were nice people. Well, no,
Do they pay the rent?
they pay the
That's
rent?
what we want to know. Do they
Yeah,
pay the
exactly.
rent? That's all we really care about.
So, yeah, we're very diligent, very careful as to who we approve.
Now, do you handle your eviction process here, or do you outsource
No, we
that?
outsource it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, that's a very specialized area, and because of the way our county and Henderson and North Las Vegas are all set up, it is much better just to let somebody who, that's all they do all day, deal with the eviction. So we just send out the form, they take care of it from there.
Excellent, wonderful. Is there any advice that you have for somebody who wants to get into property management that you recommend for them?
Wherever you go and whatever you do in property management, go to an established company that's been around for a little while, or who has people who have been doing it for a long time, and learn the right way from the beginning.
Excellent, great advice.
That's your best bet.
Thank you so much, we appreciate it.
You're welcome.